Hello everybody, welcome to the interior of my mother's car. This VEDA is going to be probably the shortest one that I'm doing all month because there's not been a whole lot to talk about today. I did some job hunting in the morning, applied for some jobs, then I went off to the library and lusted over the arty crafty books. Came home, had a bit of a play on the internet, applied for another job, and then my mum popped round for a cup of tea, and we went to see my grandparents, who are lovely, and I wish I could introduce you to them, but I doubt they'd really want to be on camera, so we'll leave that. But we have all had dinner. My mum and my dad and I have had dinner together, and mum and I are now off to a committee meeting of the local amateur dramatic society. Now, I have spoken a little bit about this previously. It's the society that my grandpa founded way back when, and we put on amateur productions of musical shows. So our next one is Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not.
Pirates of Penzance.
Our next one is Pirates of Penzance, which is a Gilbert and Sullivan. It's actually more of an opera than a musical, and it's been around since the sort of 1860s, which does mean that it is out of copyright, and therefore we don't have to pay a huge license fee for it. When we put on a show, generally speaking, we have to pay for the rights to do so because we are not a professional company. But we are charging people to come and see the show. Amateur dramatics seems to be a fairly British thing. From what I can gather, if you guys in the States, you might do sort of like glee clubs, stuff like that at school, but after school age, you either go into the theatre professionally or you just don't do it at all. In the UK, amateur dramatics is a hobby, and we do it because we like it. But it's a great hobby to do. It sort of teaches you how theatre works and how shows are put together. And being on the committee, you get to have a bit more insight into what it takes to actually put together one of these shows. So as I say, Pirates of Penzance, we're not paying a license fee for, but any other show we would have to. There are tons of shows which we are not allowed to perform. There is not a license for amateur theatre, which is a real shame. So stuff that we might really want to do, like Les Miserables or, I don't know, The Lion King, you know, the big West End productions, the companies who own the licenses won't let us perform them, presumably because they're still doing so well in the West End, and if the company is on tour, we can't put on that show either. So at the moment, Oklahoma is on tour around the country, so we wouldn't be able to get a license to perform that. But when we can get a license and we can put on the show, it's astonishing how much money actually goes into this. It costs around, what we say, 20 to 30,000 pounds.
More like 40,000.
So maybe 30,000 to 40,000 pounds to put on a show, and that is to cover the cost of the license fee, the music, the sets, the venue. None of the actors and actresses get paid. As I say, we do it because we like it. Same with a lot of the crew. That's my mum, by the way. I won't get her to talk to you because she is driving, and we want to be safe in the car. So most of the cast and crew do not get paid. We pay a yearly fee to be part of the society, and it's a social grouping, really, and it's good fun. It's a lot to do. The director and the musical director and the choreographer will get paid usually. There will be cases where they are members of the society, they are friends with the society, or for one reason or another they choose to waive the fee. I have written several pantomimes for the society over the last 4 years, and I don't pay a membership fee, and in exchange they put on my panto, if that makes sense. So I don't charge them to use my panto scripts, and they don't charge me to be a member of the society, so it's like my payment to them is my panto scripts. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yes, putting on the show. So yeah, there's a lot of organisation goes into this. We have to choose our shows about 18 to 24 months in advance. So as I say, Pirates of the Penzance is the next one, and then we will be doing Hairspray, that's a great show. It's a really fast moving show, and it is getting harder and harder to decide what to put on. There's a lot of things to consider. The stuff that's available, as I said, because not everything is. We also have to take into account the area of the country that we're in, which is down in the southeast. We are pretty close to London, but we are far enough out that if people want to go to the theatre, they'll go and see something in the West End. They won't necessarily come to us and see something on the outer production scale. We also have to factor in our members and what they are or are not capable of doing. The society members tend to stick to the society for a number of years, and due to that the membership gets gradually older and older, and there are fewer and fewer things that you can actually do. So they're also predominantly female. So if we wanted to do, for example, the Slipper and the Rose, which is a gorgeous Sherman Brothers musical based on the story of Cinderella, that has a good 4 male leads that I can think of off the top of my head, and a huge singing, dancing number that is all men. And when your male members are maybe in the sort of 8 to 10 range and average age of about 65, you've got to factor that in. So the Slipper and the Rose isn't one that would be appropriate for us. It would also be extortionately expensive due to the costuming. It's set in the sort of Georgian era with, you know, the big frilly skirts and fluffy sleeves, and it's absolutely gorgeous costuming, which is another reason I'd love to do it. But it's just not practical. So we are going to talk about Pirates of the Penzance, and we are going to talk about the provisions that are being made for Hairspray, which will be on in October. We then have to discuss what we're going to be performing next year, and the upcoming Panto, which will be in January of 2016. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much going to be it from me for today. I'm sorry it's not very involved, but I shall speak to you all tomorrow. I'm also going to do a Q&A tomorrow, so any questions you have about me, about what I do, my likes, dislikes, hair advice, writing, musical theatre, whatever, do stick them in the comments box below, or you can post them on my Facebook page. I would say send them to me on Twitter, but I don't really do Twitter. So yeah, stick them here on my Facebook page, and I will link to my Facebook page in the section below. So that's it, we're here.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.